It's okay to be uncomfortable because through discomfort comes growth. Once you learn to be comfortable in the uncomfortable, nothing can stop you.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good night, Todd Malloy. Previously, episode 243 of the 12-Minute Convos podcast. It's been 3 years, 2 months, 13 days, 8 hours, and 15 minutes since we last had a conversation.
I think it's all of our responsibility to impact society and the world in a very positive way. By you walking with a smile, by you imparting words of wisdom, it has a resonate and a rippling effect that will surge through the course of humanity and allow us to level set and really experience joys that I believe life brings.
That was then. This is now. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. I trust you are.
I am, thankfully. I appreciate that. So, what's new? I mean, it's been a while since we last recorded. What's the update?
Well, quite a few. Obviously, I figured out what I wanted to be when I grew up, so I'm still on the same path, but it's been growing. In regards to, being a mental health professional and being a licensed marriage and family therapist, certified sex therapist, certified sexuality educator. I've been doing a lot more speaking, teaching. I've produced a men's forum, an online men's forum, Man Cave Conversations. We're actually working on our second series now. I've co-authored a book, A Time to Rise, with a friend of yours who put together, Dr. Andrea Pennington. I've also become a member on the board of directors of the American Association of Sex Educators, Counselors, and Therapists. And again, doing a lot of speaking engagements and speaking actually all over the world now. So, I finally figured out what I want to be when I grow up, which is, really a part of the solution to the ills of society and really being a proponent for change and personal empowerment. For that, I'm quite grateful and honored that people are trusting me in this process and inviting me into their homes, into their lives, and being a positive influence.
It's amazing. It is amazing to see and hear what you have been working on. How do you keep balance in the midst of everything? Is it a daily reflection that happens in the morning, or is it something that happens in the afternoon? Give us the secret, please.
Well, as a kid, I probably reflected always at the end of the day, and it's just a routine I've always had. I've talked to many people. Some people kind of meditate in the morning. Some people use both the meditation, morning and afternoon meditation, to kind of keep their focus. You have accountability partners. You take time for self care. Self care meaning that, I have a regular routine of my own fitness program. I have a regular routine of getting body massages, going to see my own personal therapist, and staying close to family and friends to kind of just shake off the dust of the day, shut off the real world, and just focus on why you do what you do and embracing the love that you have around you.
Now, school has been a major part of what you've accomplished in that this isn't only life experiences. Well, you have been to graduate school,
Correct.
seminary,
Correct.
and
Yes.
you've been the first Black African American actually to have been certified as a sex therapist
Correct.
in America.
Hmm.
Now that you've accomplished that, what are you seeing happening in the space in terms of other individuals developing to help specifically the African Americans?
Well, I think now that, here in the US, particularly right now, there's a big push in the African American community to accept and to embrace the need for mental health services and embracing the healing process mentally and emotionally. Since I became certified sex therapist, there's at least seven of us now, seven African American male sex therapists in the US. I just spoke at a event focused on African American men, but we're focused on emotional health and well-being. So this is a proponent. They're doing some things nationally on television. I've been speaking all over the country, particularly now. I probably have, before the year is out, there's still about 7 or 8 speaking engagements I have that are about school-age children to within the church, and again, in for women's groups, the variety is open. So again, as times are changing, as we're putting the need for mental health issues out there in the community, as it becomes a social media and media event, it opens the door for opportunities so we can really address some of the stressors and pressures that we have in life. Because the truth is, our mental well being has a direct correlation on our physical well being. So we're talking about physical ailments, distress, etc. And a lot of that can be tied to our emotional well being.
Hmm. Which brings us full circle to how you challenge yourself. Undoubtedly, you being the individual that is receiving the information from others, even as simple as in a session, it means that you are carrying the weight of the experience. Nevertheless, you continue to challenge yourself. How have you seen that be a core to who you are, challenging yourself?
Well, well, I think it is. It is a very core part of me because my own personal growth and development is important. I'm a model for my children. I have to model behavior for my clients. I think that we are, to a degree, we are a brother's keeper, such that in the midst of my growth, I can still be human and connect, but the personal growth and development is necessary. Again, we live in a changing world, and many years ago, I was challenged by a gentleman who said, Todd, it's quite obvious you're bright, but are you competent? Is the knowledge you have and your relevance important in the moment? Is it relevant? With all of what's changing, can you change with it so that you can always function in your greatest self? And I took that to heart and I've been pursuing it ever since. So my greatest self today is different than my greatest self tomorrow because my hope is that whatever I've encountered in a day, there are lessons learned for me to grow and get better. Better communicator, a better lover, a better partner, a better friend, a better therapist. And I utilize, meditating afterwards and really processing my day, thinking of the things that I could have said differently, done differently, all in the name of maximizing who I am, because I truly believe we've been all called to function in our greatest self. I believe that's our greatest value because when we achieve our highest heights, that allows us or facilitates us being the best parent, the best partner, the best lover, the best friend, the best employee, the best entrepreneur. I think we're all called to function in our greatest self because when we're in our greatest self, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, we're the greatest person we can be to our partners, our husbands, our wives, our children, our employers, or to our employees. You think about this, everyone may not be a Christian, but I use this as an example. What is the Christ that's less than the Christ? Not him,
Hmm.
right? It was in his full self he was able to do miracles and all the things that the book says. If you use Muhammad, Muhammad was the prophet of Allah. So, however, there was a goal, there was a mission, there was a function, there was a duty, and it's him functioning in his greatest self that he facilitate the call.
Hmm. We all have a gift and a place, yeah?
Yeah, so we are all called for a purpose. And I think it's by us challenging ourselves to function in our greatest self is our greatest offering and where we can receive our greatest blessing. Because think about the challenges that you take on a day-to-day basis, Angel. By you pursuing your pursuits as you do and highlighting others, you're cultivating your own career. And each interview you do, you find out a better way to do it and enhance it in a different way. And your pursuits and your efforts are being perfected as you go, which allows you to have the longevity that you currently have.
Yes.
Yeah, and make the international connections.
Yeah, I think even in the first conversation we had, one of the things that you do and you do very well is ensure that the other individual is given the award that he deserves in the conversation. And I think that's so important to open up a space to allow the other individual to then connect to themselves, which is the core of what you're speaking about, right? The power of your uniqueness, your strengths.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, my friend, I want to say thank you again at the same time because it is both inspirational and motivational to connect after 3 years and hear that Todd Malloy is doing what he said he would be doing. I am your podcast accountability partner here, stepping in and saying, Todd, are you doing it? And it brings great joy to see that and to hear that. So I do appreciate that. And thanks for the opportunity to do this. In closing, my friend, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Yes, the one last thing I'd like to impart is it's okay to be uncomfortable because through discomfort comes growth. Once you learn to be comfortable in the uncomfortable, nothing can stop you.
Totally agree with that, amazing audience. Well, Todd Malloy, again, this is a great pleasure. Where's the best place for someone that's listening to connect with you?
Well, you can connect to me easiest at innerpeacecounselingcenter.com. That's inner, INNER, peacecounselingcenter.com. Or they can reach out to me at main number 704-937-2286 here in the U.S.
Love it. And again, there's the book you can check out, Time to Rise.
Yeah, correct.
Todd Malloy, again, thank you, my friend, for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.